back, Awakening Beauties. In this video, I'm going to do a really chatty get ready with me, talk about what's been going on in my life, what I'm thinking about, and I'm doing this everyday look for a woman over 50. And if you want a little bit of tips and tricks on how to just do a quick everyday look that doesn't require a lot of steps, especially for summer where it's hot and humid, then stay with me and I will walk you through it. Welcome back, Awakening Beauties. Thanks for joining me today. If this is your first time joining me, my name is Robin, and this channel is the intersection of health, beauty, fashion, and spirituality. So I cover a wide variety of topics. I am a petite woman at 4'10", so I have my own challenges when it comes to dressing and fashion, and I am also middle-aged. I am 51 years old. So I like to talk about some of the challenges of being a little bit older, and you have to evolve your fashion, you have to evolve your style, you have to evolve how you're doing your makeup and skincare, and I would love to have you back. So if you feel like you can relate to me and maybe you're of that age or any age, please hit that subscribe button. And if you end up liking this video, I'd appreciate if you'd give it a like. It really helps the algorithm, helps me get my videos out to people. So I'd really appreciate that. So I've taken a little bit of a break from filming. I haven't had a video up in a couple of weeks. So I'm gonna do just a little chatty get ready with me. I'm gonna do a simple makeup look that I've been just kind of gravitating towards as we're getting into these hot, humid summer months. I live in South Florida. So I just kind of wanted to do a little bit of a makeup routine and talk about where I've been and what I'm thinking about for this channel in particular. I've been really just doing a very simple morning routine because it's very hot outside. As soon as you go outside your door, because we're already in the 90s down here in South Florida with like 100% humidity. So your makeup just wants to melt right off your face as soon as you step outside. And so I've been just doing a very simple routine, starting with skincare, and I'll insert a little bit of footage here because I'm keeping my skincare very simple. In the morning, I don't really wash my face in the morning. I will rinse it off with cold water. I found earlier in my life that by washing my face at night and then again in the morning, only a few hours later, it was really too much. And I had been struggling with adult acne back then. So an esthetician told me not to wash my face in the morning. So I just rinse it off with cold water. I don't use any soap. And then I go in with, usually I have a rice water toner that I use. And after that, I will go in with this was something that I did add to my skincare regimen as of this year when I was having a lot of flaking. And that was probably because of the tretinoin that I use. And so I realized that I needed to do some kind of exfoliation, but I don't like a physical exfoliant. So, because I just find, it can be too harsh on your skin. So I found this Naturium BHA liquid exfoliator, and I use this on most days. So I found that it has really evened out my skin tone. I don't have the flaking and everything anymore. And after that, I might go in with another serum, but really over the past few weeks, I've been just keeping it very simple. And I've only been using the EltaMD sunscreen, which they've reformulated it. I still have a little bit left of the old formula. I will be ordering the new formula. I've heard really good things about it, so it's already in my Amazon cart, so I should be getting that fairly soon. But I like that because it's a tinted moisturizer as well as being a UPF 50. And so that's all I have on my skin right now. So it gives me a little bit of color. It evens my skin tone a little bit. It moisturizes. I don't have to use an additional product. I can just use that one. I'm really liking the results of that. So that's all I have on my face right now. I wanted to keep my hair This is my no wash day. I usually wash my hair every 3 or 4 days. So I just put it up in a clip claw. I made it a little bit messier in the front because this is the ease with which I want to approach summer. I don't want to be too polished, too done up. I'm in the process of evolving my style, which is going to be, other videos are going to follow about that, because I just find myself is sort of in a style crisis. It's not a crisis, but I've been thinking a lot about what I want my style to be. I've done a deep dive into videos about style, and I'm going to be making videos about that, and you're going to see how I'm working on defining my own personal style. And hopefully that will maybe help you if you feel like you need help defining your style, and maybe you can learn from what I am learning about myself. So to get started, I'm gonna just start on eyes to begin with. And again, this look is gonna be very natural. I kind of want a no makeup look, and something that's quick to do in the morning, not a ton of steps. So I did end up getting this e.l.f. palette. It's the Need It Nude palette because I was traveling a few weeks ago, and I wanted to take my Natasha Denona palette, I Need a Nude, but I didn't want to take the risk of something happening to it, of it getting broken. Anything can happen when you're traveling. And it's also a big palette, and I had very limited space. So I found this palette and I decided to get this, and I really like this palette. It's a good little nudes palette, and it was so inexpensive. So I am gonna start with some moisturizer under my eye. That's sort of my first step in my makeup application, because I've always tended to have dry skin anyways, but as I've gotten older, my eyes have even gotten a little bit more dry than they used to be. So I like to add just a little bit of moisture to begin with. I'm gonna use the Milani eyeshadow primer, because even if you're trying to do a no makeup look, you want your product to stay on your eyes. You want it to stay put where you put it in the morning. So that's why I'm going to use an eyeshadow primer. Now again, I don't want this to be so many steps, but on the other hand, there are certain steps that do help in the long run. So then what I've been doing is I've been setting that down, because I find it really helps with a setting powder. So I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Airbrush Finish, I think is what it's called. And I've just been setting that down, and just taking the time to do these couple of extra steps is really helping. So I'm gonna go in with this color here on a fluffy brush, and I'm barely touching my skin because I don't wanna apply too much color all at once. This is a no makeup look after all. So I'm keeping it very light hand. Add a little shadow and definition into my crease. So yes, we got back from our trip. Our trip was really good. It was a lot of hard work. We hiked the Grand Canyon. We didn't hike the whole Grand Canyon. We didn't go down to the bottom, but we did camp at the campground there at the Grand Canyon, at the South Rim, the most visited area, because we'd never been to the Grand Canyon. So we just kind of wanted to start somewhere. And every day we did day hikes down into the canyon. And I did not expect that the elevation was going to be challenging for me. So I live at sea level, and where we were at was about 6,000 feet above sea level. Next, I'm going to go in with this light pink color just on my lid. So the first couple of days, we got into Phoenix, we flew to Phoenix, and the next day, we got in super late. We didn't even check into our room until like after 1 a.m., which was 3 hours behind us. So that was like 4 a.m. my time. And so then we got up the next morning, we drove to Flagstaff, And then the next morning we were on our trip hiking. So Flagstaff is also, I think, 5,000 or 6,000 feet above sea level. I'm gonna take this color here. It's like a little bit cooler tone than the first color I started with, and I'm just gonna deepen this just a little bit. But yeah, my heart was racing and it was hard to catch my breath, and that first hike was a little challenging for me because of that. And you know, I had been walking a lot and trying to walk on an incline treadmill whenever I had a chance. I don't own one, so I'd have to just go at the gym where I work, and it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. I also dropped 7 pounds by doing low carb to try to reduce my weight a little bit, because I knew I was going to be carrying an 8 to 10 pound backpack, you know, because you have to take a day pack with a lot of water with you. And yeah, so the training, I didn't have long enough to train because I kind of booked this trip last minute. Yeah, it wasn't enough. But I did it. You know what? And we were with a group of 6 people plus a guide. Everybody was so nice. So I'm just gonna use the NYX Professional Makeup Eyebrow Pencil. And everybody was so nice and thoughtful, and you know, didn't judge me because I was pulling up the rear. I was the last one. They'd, you know, they were gonna take regular breaks anyways, so they would take little regular breaks hiking up. It was hiking up that would back up, which was the challenging part. And I just really had to stop to catch my breath at regular intervals. And you know, I felt like very proud of myself. I felt both proud of myself and also a little disappointed in myself at the same time. I'm a dichotomy. So I did feel proud of myself that, hey, I did it. There was no other choice. I had to hike myself back out. But also like, okay, I need to definitely improve my health and my stamina and reduce my weight and, you know, all the good things. And I know that, and I knew that going into it too. And I thought this is going to be a very interesting sort of experiment to see how I handle this type of, you know, and let's not sugarcoat it. This was, you know, hiking the Grand Canyon. It is not for the faint of heart. It is not like an easy thing. Yeah, it was pretty intense. Some areas were very steep. Also, when you're dealing with acclimating to the elevation, that's challenging for sure. But I felt proud that I did it, you know, and it gave me like motivation to just keep improving my health and keep doing trips like that and keep having adventures like that. I mean, this channel is called Adventures with Robin. And the interesting thing about it, and I was thinking of it as we were flying out on Spirit Airlines, which, listen, I think that was my first experience with Spirit Airlines and probably my last. But my graduation thesis, I'm a fashion designer, and my graduation thesis collection was called Spirit of Adventure. And it was inspired by, the Grand Canyon, but it was inspired by like this idea of being adventurous, and it sort of was like a feminized military look with the olive greens and tans. And I graduated in 2010, and my dream was to go to the Grand Canyon, and we didn't get to go for another 14 years. Which is just how life worked out. And so I just thought, what a full circle moment. I'm on Spirit Airlines. My collection was called Spirit of Adventure, and I'm finally living out this dream. And it probably would have been much easier for me to have done that trip at 38 years old rather than almost 52 years old. So I am gonna go in with a little bit of primer. I've been using this Poreless primer from Ulta. Just to even things out just a little bit. It mattifies a little bit, which, you know, I've talked about. I tend to have dry skin, but in the summer, you know, with the humidity, it's actually very helpful to have a little bit of mattifying. And look, I mean, it just like, I don't know if it's picking up on camera, but I feel like this just totally smoothed out like the line that's here, and it just kind of smooths out everything. I only really apply it sort of in the center of my face. I don't need it like on the outside of my face. So we had a great time, and we spent a couple of days in Sedona as well. I'm gonna use my Bosma stick foundation. I've been loving this in the summer because it's like a cream to powder formula, and I just really like it. It doesn't feel heavy on the skin. It never gets like runny or gross by the end of the day. It's just such a good formula. I really like this. I forgot my my foundation brush, so I'm just gonna use my fingers and a sponge. I did bring a sponge in here. Yeah, I'm also trying not to use too many brushes. So yeah, that was the first time out in the Midwest. Not the Midwest, the Southwest. That's what I'm thinking. I know my directions, and I loved it. Arizona is a really cool state, and if you've never been, man, it's so cool. Just going from Phoenix to Flagstaff to Sedona to the Grand Canyon, the climate changes so much in between all of those places. The climate and the flora and fauna. This would have been a little bit faster had I brought in my foundation brush, but I don't feel like walking back all the way back to my bedroom to go get it. Pretty much gonna leave that there. I've also been using just to give myself a little bit of a glow. I've been using the e.l.f. Halo Glow on my cheeks, and maybe a little bit up here and on my nose, maybe a little bit there. So trying to get back to reality after spending time on vacation. And like I said, vacation was a lot of work because when we weren't hiking, we were traveling from place to place. We didn't stay in the same hotel 2 nights in a row. We were in several hotels because we wanted to get the most out of our trip, see the most that we could in the time that we had. So getting back to life has been really challenging because, you know, when you go on vacation, your work keeps coming in. So I had 2 weeks worth of work to get caught up with in a week's time. And yeah, so I couldn't really film anything. I had things already scheduled to post, thankfully, while we were gone and when we got back, which was the last 2 videos. I'm really glad that my last video seemed to get a lot of attention about curvy petites. And you know, one person said I wasn't a curvy petite. I couldn't call myself petite. I'm 4'10", that's petite. So thank you for that rude comment. But anyways, so I do want to make more content about, you know, being a curvy petite, because I am 4'10" and a petite size 10 or 12. All of my clothes are from the petite department of any store that I shop at. I'm just using the Milani Undereye Brightener, the peach color corrector. I am going to go in and put a little bit more eyeshadow on, I think, but you know, I do like the way that this looks, and this is kind of the way that I would keep it, but I think I am gonna, you know, I do want it to be like a no makeup look, but need to add a little bit more, I think. But before I do that, I'm gonna do my concealer, and now I'm gonna use the e.l.f. Flawless Brightening Concealer. So yeah, that seemed to resonate with quite a few of you who are also curvy petites, and I don't see a lot of videos out there for curvy petites. There's a lot of videos for petites, but not necessarily for curvy petites, which we exist. You know, we have larger busts and hips, and you know, as I've gotten older, my weight has shifted to more belly fat. I used to always have a very small waist proportionately to the rest of me, but as I went through menopause very early in my life. I've been postmenopausal for about 10 years now. I started going through menopause around 34 years old. I didn't know I was in perimenopause, and my doctor kept telling me that I was too young. And I kept saying, well, tell that to my hot flashes and night sweats. And finally, at age 38, I insisted that he do some blood work. And, they tested the FSH levels. And he said that I was, after he got the results back, that I was postmenopausal. So I was 38 years old and already in the postmenopausal phase. And then I continued to have periods on and off for another 4 years. But by the time I got to about 42, I was already postmenopausal. So, I'm learning now a lot more about that, and it's bringing up a lot of feelings because I got the book, The New Menopause by Dr. Mary Claire Haver. And, at the time, because that was like, what year would that have been? Between 2010 and 2014. And so at that time, they really were scaring women with these studies that had come out on hormone replacement therapy. So I was just like, well, there's no way I'm doing that, because it seemed like it increased risk of cancers and all this other stuff that you were hearing about back then. And they had pretty much stopped hormone replacement therapy. And she talks all about that in her book. And so now I'm in a book club. I was invited to be a part of a book club where they're talking about this, and the women that are in this book club are in the perimenopausal state, or possibly menopausal. You're considered menopausal when it's been 1 year since your last period, and so that's considered menopause, the 1 year from your last period, and then after that you're postmenopausal. So I think I'm the only one who is years and years out from menopause. I'm gonna take my little brush here. This is the A505 from BK Beauty. And I'm just gonna add a little shadow right here. So I'm listening to their stories and everything and reading this book, and it's bringing up a lot of feelings of what I went through going through menopause. I felt very alone, because nobody my age was going through menopause. I felt dismissed by my doctor because he wouldn't believe me and told me that my weight gain was causing me to have skipped periods. And I said, yes, but why am I gaining weight? I'm eating less now than I used to. No answer. So it's been bringing up a lot of feelings inside of me. And so I'm sort of processing that. I'm processing feelings about a lot of things lately. And that's another reason probably why I haven't felt like making videos. And, whether it's not too late for me to go on some HRT, but I don't think that I want to at this point. And I know that there are some protective benefits from going on HRT, even at my age and my time out from menopause, but I just don't think that I don't think that I want to. So I'm thinking a lot about that and thinking if I need to do something about it. Still looking a little dark under my eyes, but you know what? I don't care. I don't care that I'm a little dark under my eyes. Whatever. Maybe it's because of what I ate yesterday. Maybe it's a little bit of lack of sleep. Maybe it's stress. I don't know. So I'm just going to leave it there. And I'm going to leave, because this is taking me longer, by the way, because I'm talking, I would have been way done by now. But because I'm talking, it's taking longer. This routine takes me about 15 minutes. I am going to use a little bit of bronzer using the L'Oreal Infallible. Love this stuff. And just going to bring a little color to my cheeks. I have a little bit of a mark here. I did some microplaning this morning. And I think I went over that spot one too many times. So if you are going through menopause or perimenopause or whatever state you're at, let me know below. And if this is a subject that you are interested in hearing more about, because, you know, I am doing more research on it, and I've gone through the process. I'm on the other side for many years now. You know, if you'd like to hear more about my journey and the things, there are things that I did do to help alleviate the symptoms. So if you'd like to hear about that and me to make a video about that, let me know in the comments below, and I will make a video about that. I'm kind of happy where I'm at, but I do feel like I need a little bit of color in my cheeks. So I am gonna use my Rare Beauty Liquid Punch, and this is the color Hope. I'm just gonna, man, I just want to use a little bit. I don't want to go overboard, so I'm just really stamping it in to the brush and gently. I don't want to go overboard with it. I just want a little bit of color. I think I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna leave that color there. Now I do want to give a little bit more definition to my eyes. I'm gonna tightline this so it looks a little thicker. And I'm using a brown eyeliner. I'm using from e.l.f. the No Budge Retractable Eyeliner in Coffee. And just get very close to the lash line. And just add just to try to make the lash line look a little thicker. Just taking what's left on that brush and just trying to get a little bit more of a shadow there. My chair is squeaky. If you've been hearing it this whole time, I apologize. So, because it is so humid out, but I'm gonna go ahead and use my all-nighter setting spray. So this is just a simple everyday look. I need to finish it with some mascara and some lips. I'm gonna let my face sort of dry and go into the lips. Oh, I am gonna also go in with, this is the Catrice Dream Lasting eyeliner, just to brighten up. I'm gonna put it just in the center here. And I think it just makes your eyes look a little whiter and a little brighter. It just is a very subtle effect, but I like the way that sort of brightens up the eyes a bit. And I've been loving these e.l.f. They're $2 at Walmart, these e.l.f. lip liners. They don't put the names on the stick. If you're gonna ask me to remember what the name of this is, I'm gonna say I don't remember. So I love these. They're very creamy and really good, long lasting. And I couldn't decide when I was grabbing products to bring into here. I couldn't decide what I wanted to do for my lips, because a lot of times I've been using, it's called Back Talk. I have a little mini of it from Urban Decay, and it's a really nice, cool pink. And I like that, but I've also been using this Hard Candy lip balm. It's like a plumping lip balm. It's called Meet Cute is the color. And I've been really loving this. I think I'm just gonna use this, because a lot of times I just use this on top of this lip liner. It just adds a little bit of shine. It does a little bit of plumping, and it's very comfortable on the lips. I really like everything about this lip balm. It's a really good one. And then for eyelashes, I've been loving this e.l.f. Lash and Roll mascara. It just fans the lashes out really nice. It's not like volumizing. I think for like an everyday look, this is really nice, because it looks, if it was brown, it would look even more natural. But I have the black right now, and I just love it. It holds up really well during the day. It doesn't, I haven't had any issues with it flaking or smudging. So for me, this is like a lengthening formula. It's not really a volumizing formula. But again, like I said, it just kind of lengthens and separates the lashes. And to me, it looks a lot more natural than a volumizing formula. So for summer and for doing a very natural look, I think I really like that. I think that looks very pretty. Okay, so that's it. That's my everyday look. And like I said, I can do this in like 15 minutes or less and get out the door and go to work. And I feel natural, I feel fresh, I feel put together. I don't feel overdone, and it's nice, it lasts all day. I am gonna add a little bit more powder right here because I'm looking a little bit shiny. So that's where you just have to be judicious about, like, at the end when you look at where you're at with everything, and if you need to just bring down the shine a little bit. Well, thank you so much for watching. I know I've talked about a lot of different topics on this sort of chatty get ready with me, but these are all the things that are on my mind right now and things that I'm going to be making videos about. Hopefully I will get back on track to at least getting one up per week. And I really appreciate all the comments on my last video and all the new subscribers, because I got like 40 subscribers out of that. So if you're a new subscriber, I should have said this from the beginning. Welcome and thank you for subscribing. And I will be making more content in that vein because it definitely resonated with a lot of you. So thanks so much. And until next time, you're doing great.